The Hague-based International Criminal Court is holding its final day of hearing to decide if former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte should stand trial for crimes against humanity. This week, prosecutors have urged that Mr. Duterte played a central role in a campaign of extrajudicial killings tied to his war on drugs. His defense has countered there is no smoking gun directly linking him to any order to kill, insisting the deaths were either in self-defense or not proven to be part of a state policy. Prosecution and defense will present their closing arguments in the next few hours. The chamber is expected to decide within the next 60 days if there are substantial grounds to move the case against the former Philippine leader to a full trial. Let's bring in our correspondent Maria Ronson. She's live from Metro Manila. Maria, prosecution, defense, and the representatives of victims giving their final oral submissions today to the judges so that they can decide whether they should go ahead with this trial against Rodrigo Duterte. What happens after today?
Okay, so today is the closing session of an almost week-long confirmation hearing of charges against President Rodrigo Duterte, who's and the prosecution, legal representatives of the victims, and the defense teams are presenting their cases to a three-member panel of judges who will address whether there is substantial grounds to believe that Duterte committed the crimes against humanity he's accused of, before, as you said earlier in your intro, before it moves to trial. When the pre-trial chamber resumed its final session, the defense was reminded of an earlier ruling requiring redacted notes, which may include confidential information, including witness description, to remain protected. Lead defense counsel Nicholas Kaufman spoke first. He listed the number of cases where he says the acts Duterte were alleged to have committed were above the law, that some of the alleged killings were not clandestine acts of killings but done in self-defense, and that the allegations against Duterte were for political persecution. He has insisted in the past days there is no causal link, as you said earlier too, no smoking gun that links Duterte with the killings, that they were random, that the witnesses against him are tainted. He also said the news reports to back the prosecution's allegations of using force in these alleged killings were meant for effect when he used bluster and hyperbole to drive his message across on being tough on his war on drugs and crime. In presenting its case, the prosecution, led by ICC senior trial lawyer Julian Nichols, he had laid out the origins of the killings of the Davao death squads, who he said were active when he was mayor of Davao. They pointed to Duterte as the mastermind of the operation that spread countrywide when he was elected president. He also rebutted the no smoking gun argument, saying they have witnesses who will confirm the linkage. Gilbert Andres, legal representative of the legal war victims, claim they have strong evidence to confirm the charges and back the four elements of crimes against humanity: that the attack was widespread and systematic, that it was directed against civilians, and it was carried out under a state policy, and that Duterte out of it. Protests were held in Metro Manila today to make sure the suffering of the victims of these alleged crimes are not forgotten.
Thanks. And Maria Ronson there reporting for CNA from Metro Manila on this, the final day of the confirmation of charges hearings in The Hague for former leader Rodrigo Duterte.